and just say good morning, one heart, one mind, Center for Spiritual Living. And I'm going to let Eddie Watkins Jr. kick us off this morning because it's upbeat and true. I think I'm just going to do sound though, because there's no video. So we might as well see each other's faces and listen to Eddie.
God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am, God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am. Right here, right now. Right here, right now. God is, I am. God is, I am. Right here, right now. Right here, right now. God is, I am.
Just simple, true. God is, I am. And I thought that would be the perfect way to kick off today's talk because I'm talking a lot about God is, I am. So we're going to move into that. And I would like to invite our practitioner of the day. Thank goodness you got on, Rob, because I'm really looking forward to what you have to say.
At the last minute. All right. Thank you for that song, Michelle. That I like to move, and that song moved. So that's great. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, you're so welcome.
And for the Michelle's talk today, I mean, assuming that she sticks to the CSL prescription, is titled "The Fluidity of Belief and the Constancy of Spiritual Truth," which
I kind of do. Just a heads up, I get to it at the end.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you did because personally, I think that's a great title.
It is, right?
And one of my favorite spiritual truths is it is done unto you as you believe, which is biblical. And what Jesus is purported to have said in Matthew 8:13 is, according to your faith, it is done to you. Now, I had a lot of spiritual stuff figured out before I ever heard of Ernest Holmes, but what I didn't have figured out is the role that affirmation can play in shaping your beliefs.
Mhm.
Okay, beliefs are nothing more than raw materials that will be used by the law to construct your life. If you want to know what your beliefs are, just look around you. The current reality of your life, all the varied aspects of it, are a perfect mirror of what you currently believe. In the same way that the entirety of the physical universe is a perfect reflection of what God believes. Now, I did have this part pretty well figured out before I discovered science of mind, but what Ernie taught me was exactly how malleable those beliefs are. He taught me that every time I affirm anything, every time I declare that what I want to be true is true, those beliefs shift. They may shift a lot, and they may just shift a little, but they will shift in the direction of what I have specified. And how do I know that my beliefs have shifted? Because my life is always the perfect reflection of those beliefs. So if my life improves in any way, I know with certainty that my beliefs have shifted, and that shift is what made the improvement in my life possible. So, of all the things we have to be grateful for, and face it, there's a lot of them. One of my absolute favorites is the fact that I can improve any situation I have simply with the power and the application of my mind. And because you can change any situation you have simply by affirming that it is done, that means that you have a superpower. So let us be grateful together. And I invite you to go with me as we recognize and realize that all there is God, one of the most wonderful truths of the universe. And the fact that that is true means it's always there for us, always there, and it's there for us right now. And right now, because we turn our attention to that which we know to be God, we are feeling the goodness, and the goodness is always a wonderful feeling. We are feeling better and better. The more we concentrate on it, the more we allow it to, to penetrate our awareness entirely, the more we recognize how perfectly lucky we are. And we recognize that we do have the power of prayer, the power of prayer to create in our lives what we want, and that we can always make our lives better. Always, every day, every hour, every second, we can be better. We can do better. We can have more and more and more of what we want. And what we want is the goodness of God. And so I do say thank you for this wonderful truth. I do say thank you for everyone that is here, that has come together to experience more God and a better life. And I know for each and every one of us that the experience we are having today is broadening our lives, is making the potential for today and the days to come better and better and better. And I give thanks for the music. I give thanks for Michelle and her talk. I give thanks for all the faces that are looking at me, I trust, when I open my eyes, because it's a wonderful experience to have. Thank you, God, for what we have here. Thank you, God, for this wonderful life. I release my word, and together we say, and so it is. And with any luck, There it is, November's affirmation. I welcome the changes of this season with an open heart. I trust that every ending carries the seed of a new beginning. Gratitude grounds me and grace guides my way. I am aligned with the gentle rhythm of life's unfolding, and so it is.
Beautiful. Oh, well, that was lovely, Rob, and that was perfect for what I want to say today. So that's perfect. Oh, and I do have some more music. Thank you for talking about the music too. And this is Karen Drucker. And it's funny because there's Gary Lynn Floyd has a version of this, and I was trying to decide which to go with, but I think we're going to go with Karen. And here it is. Such a beautiful, beautiful song. If I could just get it up here, we would be good. There we go. You guys hear it?
Every step is holy. Every breath is life. Every moment precious when held up to the light. Every heart connected, each the face of God. Grace has shown me every step is holy. Every step is holy. Every breath is life. Every moment precious when held up to the light. Every heart connected, each the face of God. Grace has shown me every step is holy. Every step is holy. Every breath is life. Every moment precious when held up to the light. Every heart connected, each the face of God. Grace has shown me every step is holy. Every step is holy. Every step is holy. Every breath is life. Every moment precious when held up to the light. Every heart connected, each the face of God. Grace has shown me every step is holy, 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 every breath, every step is holy. 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 Every step is holy.
Every step is holy. I love Karen. All right. Well, for some reason, my my screen wanted to go blank there for a second. Oh, Claire's here. Hi, Claire. And it's nice to see everybody's face. Thank you for that. That one was a little slower, Rob, but it was almost like a meditation before the talk. But I'm glad to see everybody's faces again. I'm going to put us back on speaker view. There we go. Oh, so just let me say again, good morning, One Heart, One Mind Center for Spiritual Living. And it's become my tradition to say that we are a loving, open-hearted spiritual community and that we're dedicated to touching hearts in the world, to uplift lives and to awaken everyone to their divine nature. And whether you're here in real time or listening to the replay, you are always welcome in this space. We love connecting with even the people we can't see. So last week I spoke to you about the peace and the power of the present moment. And I spoke about how the present moment truly is the only time that we actually experience anything. Even if we're thinking about the past or pondering the future, we're doing it in the present moment, which makes this now moment very powerful and very creative. The creative process requires that we be conscious and receptive, willing, and aligned with divine truth, with our own divine nature. And all of these aspects of creation require that we be in the present moment, that we be right here, right now. Because the process of creation can only really happen in the present moment. Creative law can only act on the point of consciousness that exists right now. We connect with and we experience the divine presence only in this present moment, only now. Ernest Holmes, our founder, told us that the time to demonstrate is now, and the place where we are now, and the power that we have is now. That was more of a paraphrase than a quote. I couldn't remember the exact quote. So we can think of it like this, imagine that you're a potter and you're sitting at a potter's wheel, and right in front of you on the wheel is this perfectly still block of clay. and you've decided that you want to create a bowl. And you can imagine the beautiful bowl that you want to create. You can see its shape and its size and its color, but nothing will be created until you give the clay right in front of you at this moment your focused attention, until the wheel begins to spin and your hands begin to guide the clay with the pressure of your touch. This is the moment of creation. Creation begins the moment we are present enough to touch the clay of our own lives, when we're conscious and receptive and willing and aligned with divine truth. But within the clay, the big block of clay itself, exists the potential of the bowl before it ever comes into physical form. It already exists within the mind of God. And the wheel, the potter's wheel, is the action of law, grabbing a hold of our creative intention, the creative intention of the bowl. And our hands are our willingness to receive and our ability to direct and guide the flow of creation. This is our creative agency, through which the potential within the mind of God, the potential of love, is expressed. So last week, I also said that creation is very nuanced. And I'd like to dive a little bit deeper into what I meant by that. So let me start by saying that one of the things that always drew me to the science of mind philosophy in the first place was Ernest Holmes' intention to marry science and spirituality. He had just such a clear vision about the relationship that science and spirituality have or had. And he knew that both were exploring exactly the same thing. They were just speaking different languages. Science speaks the language of order and data and information, of repeatable natural laws. And spirituality speaks the language of mysticism and wonder and love. And what I think is brilliant about Holmes' approach is that he knew that it is all sacred. Science or spirituality, whichever way you approach it, that it was all sacred. He knew that both are needed for creation to take place. Holmes said that, what did he say? He said, true religion and science are not opposed. They're just two ways of approaching the exact same truth. And I think that is so true. It's just two ways of answering the big questions of life. And Holmes's message was always that there's only one truth, and whether we come at it from the perspective of science or spirituality, it's still the same truth. He understood that the order and the intelligence that science has uncovered and discovered is grounded in universal laws and principles, and that even impersonal and reproducible laws are acting within the larger whole, and they are all sacred. It's all sacred. It's all God. And everything works together to move life towards a greater and greater expression as love. As we often say in Science of Mind, love leads the way and law makes the way possible. And this idea, to me, it just really brilliantly explains the marriage of science and spirituality, especially as we understand the process of creation more and more through the lens of science, especially quantum physics. And it's from this perspective, I think this helps us to explore the nuances of the creative process. When I first came to the Science of Mind teaching, I'd kind of given up on religion and spirituality. I was tired of playing small and not getting any results from my prayers. I decided that the whole God thing was just nonsense. But intuitively, I kind of knew that there was something more. And so I kept digging. So when I started learning about Science of Mind, a friend asked me to go to church with her. And I said yes. And it was at the time, it was the Santa Rosa Church of Religious Science, which is now Centers for Spiritual Living. But when I started learning about Science of Mind, I started to feel empowered my ears perked up and I wanted to hear more. I started to become enthralled, so I started taking classes and I learned the basics and I began doing my spiritual practice. I began doing spiritual mind practice or treatment or affirmative prayer, which is our main practice in science of mind. And I started to get results. To some degree, I started to get results. But I noticed that there were still some areas in my life that I just wasn't getting results. And here's where I learned that indeed the process of creation is nuanced. That creation unfolds through subtle layers of intention and consciousness and alignment. I discovered that it isn't just about our thoughts, that it requires more than just our mental attention. It calls for harmony in our thought, in our feeling, and in an embodied knowing of spiritual truth. And it requires receptivity on our part. And all of these things work together as one to make the creative process come alive in our lives. Well, it's always working, but to get it to come alive the way we would like to see it. All this has to work together. Ernest Holmes famously said, change your thinking, change your life. And we all know that tagline. And it's not wrong, but my experience is that it's just not quite complete. And as Holmes' teaching evolved, you can see it in his writings and in his talks, he made it clear that thought alone is not enough, that the creative process responds not to just words, but to the feeling and the conviction behind them. Thought directs the law, no doubt about it, but feeling gives it life. It gives it that oomph. Holmes taught that we don't just manifest what we merely wish for, but who, or I guess we could say what, we are. The vibration or mental atmosphere we consistently hold within us in our mind and in our hearts and our subjective mind as well. When we think of creation this way, changing our thinking means more than just changing our words. It means changing our inner feeling tone so that the vibration we hold in our subjective mind matches the good we desire. It's when thought and feeling are in harmony that creation's inevitable. It's mathematical, but it has to match. It has to come. There has to be coherence, which we'll talk about in a second. But because the universe doesn't speak the language of the words, it doesn't speak words. It doesn't. It's not as if I'm talking to another person. It doesn't decode sentences or interpret vocabulary. Instead, it listens to the vibration beneath our words. It feels the energy that flows from our heart. It hears the emotional charge carried by our thoughts and our feelings. It receives the frequency of our state of being. Even when we're not speaking words, the universe listens. It hears us. It's heard what we've been saying all along. As Rob said earlier, that's why our life looks like it looks. Creation is nuanced. We can ask ourselves, what message are we speaking into our experience? Are we aligned with what we would like to experience? Or are we speaking to the universe from a place of need, a place of limitation or lack? Are we speaking from an emotional state of fear or doubt that it was going to happen at all, or impatience, I want it to happen now? Do our thoughts say one thing while our heart is feeling something else? Because in that split, it's that energetic incoherence. Our message becomes fuzzy and scrambled. I think most of us are old enough to remember what it's like to try to tune a regular radio to a station and not quite be able to get it on the right frequency and get a clear signal. You just can't really quite hear it. All you hear is that staticky sound with a few words coming through. That's what it's like when our thoughts and our feelings are not in alignment. They're not coherent. And that's what I've discovered as I continued to learn about the nuances of creation. That's what I discovered is one of the nuances of creation, is that we've got to be, our head and our heart, our feeling has to be on the same station. And what I found was that the areas in my life where where I was having trouble demonstrating things. These were not quite getting on the right frequency. These are the areas that, things like that I had internalized false beliefs, areas of money, relationships, self-worth. These were the areas where we could call it a residual energy of my past false beliefs were still running the show. These were the places where the message I was sending to the universe was just full of static. They were unclear. And these were the places where my thoughts and my feelings needed to be brought into clear coherence. I needed to be able to be thinking those affirmative thoughts, positive thoughts, but feeling them at the same time. This is where I learned that we don't create the experiences that we see around us just because we want them. We create the experience in our lives from who we are. We express who we are from the frequency of our state of being. When I was a practitioner, oh, so many years ago, I had this wonderful spiritual teacher. She was wise and she was patient. I think she had to have been in her late 80s or 90s when she was teaching me all that long ago. But she used to tell us that we create from the predominant color of our being. What a beautiful way to put that. The predominant color. Are we mostly blue or purple or green? What are we creating from? And it's the same, that beautiful way of putting it. Neville Goddard, we saw this in our book study when we did it not too long ago. He put it just as beautifully. He said that the world is yourself pushed out. We create who we are. Our outer world is not some random collection of events. It's a reflection of our inner frequency. I love that idea. Ernest Holmes told us the same thing. He said that life is a mirror, always reflecting back to the thinker what he thinks into it. Life will reflect back to us the energy we've been broadcasting into the universe, impressing universal law with the frequency of who we believe ourselves to be and how we feel about that. And the beautiful part of this spiritual principle, Rob said the same thing, is that we can change what we're broadcasting anytime we choose. And we also say in Science of Mind that the past holds no precedent. So we are not bound by yesterday's vibration. We can shift our energy right here, right now. And where do we change it? We change it in the present moment. This is where change happens. This is where something new is created, because you know what? We don't fix anything. That's done. We can learn from it, but we just create something new, and we do it right here, right now. We change it by what we focus on. We change it by what we feel and what we hold to be true. We can think of it like this. Our thoughts are the directions we're giving the universe, and our feelings are the energy behind it. If our thoughts say, I trust that good is unfolding for me now, but our feelings are full of fear and doubt and impatience, then our consciousness is sending a mixed signal. But when our thoughts and our feelings are coherent, the creative law responds to the stronger vibration, because when we're coherent, that's a much stronger vibration. Emotion is almost always stronger than thought. So when our thoughts are saying, I know this is possible, and our feelings are saying, I feel this is true, the unified vibration is what creative law responds most to. It's the difference between like whispering, this is what I think I want, or speaking it with clarity and conviction and resonance. You can feel the difference. When I feel it wholeheartedly, I love that saying. Wholehearted means our thoughts and our feelings are coherent. Okay, now I always have to do the disclaimer, right? Let me say that if we have been practicing beliefs of lack and limitation and unworthiness for most of our lifetime, then if we want to get results by coming into coherence, we have to be really dedicated to our spiritual practice to bring ourselves back to thoughts and feelings that are coherent. Thoughts of peace, thoughts of love, thoughts of abundance, trust, and faith. They have to correspond to the feeling, the embodiment of these qualities within our hearts. And through repetition, they become our state of being. What's his name? Joe Dispenza talks about the thought, feeling, being pattern. That's what we have to create, is this coherence of our thoughts and our feelings and who we are. Because our bodies have been honed. We have these neural pathways that have been honed over time, and they've kind of hardwired our brains and our bodies with the old beliefs that are not true and that don't serve us anymore. But we can change that with practice, and practice does not have to feel like a job. I know when I first heard that, I thought, oh, that sounds hard. It doesn't have to be hard, and it doesn't have to feel like drudgery. In fact, it is uplifting, and it's this sacred practice. You get to go into the experience of God every time you get there. It's a gift that we give ourselves, and by extension, the world. It's empowering and joyous. And I personally prefer learning and changing and growing and expanding from love rather than from discomfort. I would rather experience joy in the transformation than feel like, yeah, this is just a job I got to do. It's really all about our perspective, and that is completely up to us. I'll give you an example. I read a story. There's this guy named James, and he prided himself on being a positive thinker. And the story said, at least until he entered a crowded grocery store parking lot. It said that parking lots were his spiritual kryptonite. And one Saturday morning, he found himself in a very crowded grocery store parking lot. And so he did his affirmation. I am attracting the perfect parking space. That seems to be spirituality 101, where we attract parking spaces, right? But inside, he was vibrating, oh, this is hopeless. I'm never going to get out of here. His thought was the perfect parking space is mine, but his feeling was, I hate this. He had two different channels broadcasting at once. You could hear the static. And then he caught himself. Okay, what would it actually feel like if I really believed a space was opening up for me? So he tried feeling the relief he would feel when he found the parking place, to draw up that experience, which he said helped a little, but it wasn't enough. So he leaned in again. He relaxed his grip on the steering wheel. His shoulders dropped. You can always feel you're relaxed when your shoulders drop. He aligned his thought with a corresponding feeling. And he said, okay, I can feel it. A parking spot is opening up for me now. And then the story said that almost comically, right then, brake lights from two different cars ahead of him lit up, and the car started to back out. And he laughed out loud and said, oh, now the universe is just showing off. Now I have two. And, later on, he reflected as he was walking back to the parking lot how his car was perfectly parked in it. His thought was, this stuff really works. I just have to get my head to agree with my heart, which is a great way to put it. We really have to be coherent in thought and feeling. So I didn't really get to today's topic. I told Rob I had a little bit at the end, and I do, and which is about the fluidity of belief and the constancy of spiritual principle, which is another nuance of the creative process. Let me just kind of briefly touch on why I think that the shift from a belief to a knowing or a feeling, an embodiment of spiritual principle, why it's so important when we're, practicing creation, when we're working with the creative process. In the realm of spirit, everything's energy. It's infinite, it's intelligent, and it's always in motion. And as I said earlier, the true language of the universe is not words or thoughts, but vibration. Vibration is kind of the silent hum behind all of creation. And the beliefs we hold shape our perception. And they can open us to greater possibility, or they can limit us depending upon the belief. But belief still lives in the mind. Our beliefs can be influenced, questioned, changed. Belief's fluid. It grows, it evolves, it refines itself as our understanding deepens. And there are many things that I used to believe were true, and now I know are not true. I mean, people used to believe the world was flat. We don't believe that anymore. That was a belief, a common belief. But knowing, however, is different. Knowing is when the idea of truth, when we're standing on spiritual principle, drops from our head to our heart, and it becomes an embodied frequency. It's not something we think, it's something we are. For me, that's the difference. We know a spiritual principle. We resonate with it. We don't have to affirm it, agree with it, prove it. It simply becomes the vibration we live from. And life reflects that vibration perfectly because we express into our experience who we are. Consciousness form. We know the formula. And in the end, the universe responds not to what we say we believe, but to who we vibrate as true. Every thought and emotion carries a vibration, and creative law acts upon that vibration, not necessarily our words, although our words do have a vibration underneath them. Sound is a vibration. And it has an energy, an either upliftment energy or a downward energy. When we vibrate in harmony with love, with wholeness, with abundance, we're speaking the language of the divine, a language that's older than words and much clearer than our thought. So to enhance our creative agency, we can move from believing in truth to being the vibration of truth, which is the difference between a belief and a spiritual principle. Because when belief settles into knowing, the knowing becomes our natural frequency. It becomes who we are, and we express, we demonstrate who we are. So let's bring it all home. I said a lot of stuff. Let's bring it all home. Let's remember that creation happens here, in the sacred ground of the present moment, because this is the only place where life is alive, where spirit is expressing, where law responds, and where love breathes itself into form. The creative process is subtle and nuanced, not because it's complicated, but because it's alive and it's dynamic. It invites us not only to think truth, but to feel truth, to embody truth, to be truth, to let our thoughts and our feelings come into coherence so that the universe receives a really clear, loving signal. We're not creating from effort here or from words alone. We're creating from the vibration of who we are. And the beauty of this teaching, this kind of sacred marriage of science and spirituality, is that it assures us the moment we align our heart and our mind with the infinite, law will respond, love will flow, and creation will unfold right here, right now, in this eternal now, right here. We demonstrate who we are. So let's do like a little affirmation instead of a prayer to close. So I'm going to give you a space after I say a line, and you can repeat it in word, or if you're muted, you can say it out loud. I stand in the power of the present moment. My thoughts and feelings are one in love. I align with divine truth and the universe responds. I am the vibration of peace, wholeness, and abundance. Creation flows through me now. All is well. And so it is. Well, that was fun. Oh, I hope you enjoyed it. You know, the truth is the more time you spend practicing the creative process, practicing, demonstrating God, love, the all that is, which is the nature of our being into our world, the more subtle it is, the more you peel away the layers to get down to what's the meat of this? How can I really express it in my life? And for me, that's what it is. It's that we demonstrate who we are. So anyway, I'm going to put this back on gallery view so I can see all your faces. I have no idea who's doing the it might be me. Am I doing the sacred giving?
I am.
Oh, it's Relaine. Okay, Relaine, I will put up the ways to give if we need that. We may or may not need that. Ways to give. There we are. Okay. Can you see it, Relaine?
Yeah, thanks. All right. Now is the time to express our gratitude and appreciation for the wonderful One Heart, One Mind community, and Michelle and all of us. And so please give to Venmo, One Heart, One Mind Center with Michelle's photo, or you can send Michelle a check, and the address is right up there. And in this time of gratitude and feeling of love and connection with everyone, it's just wonderful to give back to One Heart, One Mind community.
It is.
And sacred giving. So let's just feel these words of gratitude with giving. I give with a grateful heart, knowing that spirit is the source and substance of all supply. I joyfully participate in the circulation of abundance. My offering blesses the world and returns to me multiplied. I am grateful. I am prosperous.
And
So
and so it is down there.
and so it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Oh, thank you, Relaine. So, let's see what's going on. We have tomorrow evening we'll do our prayer time at 6:00. And on Tuesday is the we'll be doing the Abigail's not on anymore. She probably had to pop off. We're going to have our Point Thanksgiving service in Poway, and it is in the e-newsletter if you need to look at that. But it starts at 6:30, I think, in Poway. But it's always fun. I'm going to do the opening closing prayer. I'm not the speaker this year, but that's enough. Let's see. And then the following week, we're going to start Return to Love. And I sent you the first few chapters. So if you don't have the book, you can read those first few chapters. It's a wonderful book. She was a wonderful writer. It's just all about love. I thought it would be a good thing to take us through the holidays, to just think about love and the expression of that in the world. And so you had the prayer group last week?
No, it'll be this coming Wednesday.
Oh, it will be. Okay.
Yeah, the third Wednesday.
There's third Wednesday.
Third Wednesday at 10 o'clock.
And then we get into Thanksgiving week. And Hanukkah and Christmas are like right on the same day, right? Or close? Didn't someone say? Yeah, which is kind of cool. So, and then we'll be getting into, yeah, all the holiday stuff. Yeah, and I guess that's about it for now. Claire, A Return to Love. Yes, A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. Claire asked which Return to Love we were talking about. It's an oldie but goodie. At this point, it's a classic. Let's see. I guess that's about all for announcements. And then I will invite Relaine. You want to do the benediction, and then I'll take us out with one of our songs.
Sure.
Another I Am song for us.
Yeah, I was just thinking as I look at each and every one of you, what a beautiful beginning to a prayer, seeing all your beautiful faces and feeling that connection with spirit. So let's just close our eyes and feel the connection of spirit as our thinking and our feeling divinely lead us and guide us, guard us and protect us. And I know that we're one. We're one with this, all the attributes of God. We're one with all the aspects of God. We're just one. We're one with each other, one with the earth, one with every person and every sentient being on this planet and beyond. And I'm so grateful for Reverend Michelle's talk, for Rob's articulate, intelligent, and words with clarity and feeling, and a lovely prayer, and Reverend Michelle's just great talk, as always, great and greater. And so we just feel the gratitude for each and every one of us to be in the present moment, right here, right now. Isn't that great? It feels so wonderful to be here now with all of you in this oneness feeling of divinity. As I release this prayer, I feel such gratitude and love and peace and all the good stuff, all the blessings. And I simply release it into divine law, knowing it is all love and law, and say, and so it is.
That's how it is. Beautiful. Okay, this is Michael Gott. Well, let's see. In just a second. Sometimes I forget I have to have it up on my desktop before I can share it. So I want to get it. I'm just gonna share the sound. I am. I think that's a really probably one of the more powerful affirmations we can say. I am. Claim it, own it, feel it. All right, well, I am going to go ahead and turn off our recording.